Hey, hey, welcome back, guys. All right, Aries, let's take a little peek at this next month, at the month of June, and we're going to kind of break break it apart and take a look. Sorry, I'm laughing because my Aries is barking. Let's take a look at whatever the big message is. We've got the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is going to be the energy of balance. This could be a month of great harmony. Also, meditation. We have the Page of Wands sideways. Feels like somebody's managing their expectations really well. This could break the month into two different halves, like work and play. There could be some wonderful things to look forward to. This could be balancing finances, having enough money to do work and play, getting a chance to like have everything click into place. But I think it's like sticking to the schedule. It doesn't look like there's huge excitement, highs and lows. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles. There's a sense of steady building, sticking with what the plan already was, not necessarily taking off in brand new directions. If a vacation was planned, vacation, goes through. If, time off work was planned, time off work goes through. It feels like a steady month. But steady also is yielding greater results. So there's this consistent, I feel like somebody's, putting pennies in their piggy bank little by little by little on this very consistent method. Because I think by the end of the month, it says June could have some wonderful, sense of abundance, but everything just feels like it's not a wild, overly exciting month. It's steady, it's stable, it's really nice. Actually, there's a lot to say about work-life balance and money balance that seems really nice and good for this Aries. Okay, let's take a look at love. Temperance sideways. Love could be, I don't want to say plateaued. Maybe it's going to be a little bit dull, or maybe it's going to be super peaceful. It's funny how on both of these, the first cards out, when I just said the big overview, we had somebody sitting there in yoga pose. And guess what? Here she is again, yoga pose. This feels like it's more about self-love. It's more about finding balance. That might be Aries' intention, but we do have a Knight of Swords. So in love, Aries, calm, peaceful flow could be a bit disrupted, possibly by this Knight of Swords. It doesn't mean that, this is going to be a ton of like, oh, now I'm instantly in love with somebody, but it does look like this person wants to start talking to Aries, and they may suddenly just start communicating. This person could be a firefighter. This person could be someone who works, in like emergency services in some capacity. We have a Six of Wands. Kind of feels like, I don't know, there's something really lovely about Aries that this person is drawn to immediately. It's going to make Aries feel really good to have this person pay them some attention, whether or not this becomes a hot-blooded romance, or whether this just becomes like, oh, it really made me feel special. This person wanted to flirt. Oh, I hope it's going to be a hot-blooded romance. Let's be honest. We got the Emperor. Now this would be Aries' card. It feels like this is a new situation, but hang on. Three of Wands in the reverse. For love, for Aries, the fact that it looks so peaceful, so calm, but then suddenly it's like somebody blurts out how they feel. It makes Aries feel really good. And then from there, things start to get pretty like in the moment, kind of serious. I wonder if Aries is going to look at somebody with a new attitude. And I wonder if they're doing the same to Aries. Sometimes we can be around somebody for a long time. We see them every day, but we're not thinking about them in a romantic sense. And then one day the light switch goes on. And then it's like, oh, you've been here all this time, but I just didn't see you that way before. It feels a little like that. Eight of Swords. This could still be hard to get off the ground. There's an attraction. But I honestly feel like maybe this is somebody a little bit younger giving Aries a huge compliment. And although it feels really good, I'm wondering if It's like, yeah, but I don't know if this would go anywhere. This might just be somebody who comes in during this time of great peace, because honestly, Aries feels single. That's how it felt to me in the beginning. Aries feels like they're single in the month of June, very at peace. They're doing what they need to do. They've got a real Zen vibe about them. And then this cat comes on in and maybe starts to flirt or says some magical compliment that is very true. And maybe it makes Aries feel really, really good. But beyond that, I don't know. It might just be that that's it. It's a one and done. It's enough to bolster Aries. It's enough to make them feel like, huh. I mean, I was very content being single, but now I just got this lovely compliment from this person. Maybe they're a couple of years younger than me, whatever. I'm 40, they're, 35, and they just gave me some, very nice compliment. And although it was just a brief in passing, I'm glad to know I can turn heads. Maybe our Aries is 55, 65, and they got a nice compliment. It's very true. Whatever this is, it's a very, like, I would say, respectful, but very off the cuff, sudden. I mean, maybe somebody does a jaw drop and is like, can I get your number? And Aries is like, no, I'm 60 and you're 40, or I'm 60 and you're 35. And it's like, what? There's no way. I'm sorry. I understand why you don't want to date me, but I would still want to date you because, man, you look good. I mean, it could be one of those situations. I'm feeling like Aries has a real, like, even here, this gentleman is older, but he still has a real youthfulness to him, right? I know, it just feels like Aries has some very lovely presence, whether they're masculine or feminine. The only thing is, it feels like that compliment or that exchange is just like in the moment. It doesn't feel like this is a long lasting thing. And if anything, it might shake Aries a little bit out of their peace and calm and make them think, I don't know why I'm sitting here single and being so peaceful being single. Should I be out dating? Should I do something a little unusual? Should I go out and do some wild card thing where actually I'm now hearing wild thing, you make my heart sing. I'm almost wondering if in this storyline, our Aries hadn't almost like accepted or committed themselves to a life of like, I'm single and this is nice. Maybe like to honor somebody else's memory, or maybe they were feeling like, I mean, this Aries could have pledged to themselves that I will remain single. And I think this is making them realize, maybe I'm not going to remain single. It's a little hard to break myself out of this, but I'm seeing there's more life to be lived. There's light on the other side. I almost think Aries was trying to pigeonhole themselves and say either I won't have another partner. I'm, too old. I wouldn't be dating now. And this just awakened them. They're starting to think about this differently, which I think is good. They may still not be going out, dating necessarily this month, although then again, maybe. We've got a King of Wands sideways. Let me put it this way. I feel like Aries libido is going to be awakened in the month of June. That's maybe the way to say it, because this is that spark of life and lust and love. It is a little bit of the wild card. Aries may still want, long-term monogamous, but maybe they were giving up on dating and saying they were perfectly happy being totally single until this person comes in, gives them a very realistic compliment, and it awakens something in Aries. And it's like, you know what? I'm not actually done with love. I think that this would be really nice. With that Knight of Wands, or excuse me, King of Wands sideways, I'm really pleased actually to see Aries might just start daydreaming. Certainly by like the 22nd, by the end of the month, Aries might be contemplating, maybe I would want to date somebody. In fact, maybe there is somebody I want to date. This is quite exciting. It's Aries is not done with their dating days. That's what I would say here. Okay, let's take a look at any blockages in the month of June. I just went for a deck I already used, but we have to keep it because this one came out. We have a Two of Wands. A blockage could be not necessarily knowing which decision to make. This month seems to be pretty peaceful, but then when it comes to the topic of love, there is a bit of a surprise, even though I still don't feel like it rocks Aries' world. It's not like they fall madly in love. It's just they realize their love story is not over yet. They will meet another person. But this says a blockage could be anything that is indecisive, and that could be applied to that, the idea of love. We have the Princess of Cups. It is sideways. This is definitely about whether or not to give or receive an emotional offer. All these sideways cards. Four of Wands sideways. The blockage could be being too set in our ways of what we believe works, and I don't need to add or increase anything in my life. How it is just perfect. I don't need anything more. This card, the Four of Wands, would normally be like marriage. It can be, really happy, like perfectly balanced life. But this feels like Aries has been trying to say, well, I am happy with the way things are. But that could, it's great to be happy, right? It's wonderful. But to imagine that the plateau that we're at is it, that could be the blockage. It says dream a little bit bigger, and it almost feels like Aries is like, I don't really know if I need to dream any bigger. I feel like there's more happiness, more abundance, more joy in Aries' life, more adventure. We have the Strength card. I kind of think in the sweetest, gentlest of ways, Aries' life is pretty nicely organized, but I think this is a month to prepare for more excitement in July. This is a month to wrap our head around the fact that life is not going to be status quo, and that Aries has not run their last race, and that Aries has much more up ahead for them, much more life, much more love, much more adventure. So this is a month to come to terms with that, maybe. I can't wait to see what July brings, because I feel like June is a month to kind of like mentally shift out of this, stasis or this comfortable zone, even though it is nice to be stable. But it says, Aries, don't think that this is all it's going to be. Aries has way more adventures on the horizon, and this is just them wrapping their head around this. I kind of picture by the end of the month, Aries might be swaggering a little bit more, dressing a little sexier, maybe being a little bit more outgoing, being a little bit more bold, mentally preparing for some excitement to come in the month of July. But June seems pretty steady tempo and gentle preparation month. All right. And then let's get a message from the ancestors. We've got the Action of Cups. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. I'm telling you, this is exactly what I was picturing. Is the Wheel of Fortune is turning in Aries' favor. Aries is about to be gifted something. They're about to have love walk in their house. They're about to be surprised by the depth of emotion and interest that they may have. They could be shocked by how much their life changes seemingly on a dime. This just feels like, sometimes the Wheel of Fortune turns in our favor, and then that opens up all these new like doorways that weren't there before. And I kind of think the ancestors are saying, Aries, it's already begun. The Wheel of Fortune turning in your favor, and certainly a new person, but also possibly like a real gift. This feels very long overdue. This feels like a karmic gift, even though, it's so beautiful that our Aries throughout all of this has been saying, I'm really peaceful. I'm really calm. My life is good. I'm not, gnashing my teeth and wailing at the heavens above saying, this isn't fair. I deserve more. No, Aries is peaceful. However, the universe has other plans. The ancestors are letting Aries know there's a turn of good fortune coming into Aries' life. And I do think it's going to be rushing in, possibly particularly their life could look very different by August. I only say that because it's 8 of Wands. It makes me think of the 8. There's some massive energy coming in, and Aries is going to have to be a little more swift on their feet to make decisions about what they do. I think there's going to be a lot more energy and a lot of moving parts to Aries' life. Aries could suddenly have an influx of a lot of different people to talk to, and this could be on the heels of Aries being like, oh, I don't even talk to anybody. I'm pretty much just totally single, totally alone. I don't, I go to work and then I go home and I'm quiet and I meditate. I spend a lot of my time just, I want to say with me and my cat. And then all of a sudden there's going to be this flood. But this flood is good. It's not to overwhelm Aries. It's just there's a lot of information coming at Aries pretty soon, maybe a lot of people. Aries is going to have to make decisions about how they spend their time when they're going to be pulled in a lot of different directions. Could be a fire sign coming in for Aries. Could also be, prepare for like, this is anything from an offer. I feel like Aries is going to get invited to some kind of potluck barbecue, something where there's going to be like, Aries is going to be bringing a dish. That could be where they meet a bunch of people. They all of a sudden get sucked into like a group of fun-loving people. It just feels like Aries life is going to become social, going to become chatty. There's going to be some kind of love, and there's going to be some kind of, it all starts at like the potluck or whatever this moment is where something is handed over to Aries. There's some lovely offer from the universe coming in. I hope Aries like is open to that and is, welcoming all the good things into their life, because I feel like this Aries really deserves this turn of good fortune and love and, more energy in their life. I mean, unless they only want to stay calm, silent, and peaceful, in which case they can choose that path, of course. But this is a month, I think, for Aries to start to lean toward the excitement that's on the way. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing.